to Secondhand Blasters. This is Normatico, and over here next to me is G-Rex. And we are actually here today to do what, well, you know, what a father usually does for their son. Let's call it a rite of passage, so to speak. So, G-Rex, you know, of those things that you have proven to me, even though you're still only 10, that you've actually been quite responsible with blasters. I see how you've treated such as the blasters such as the Mark 1.2. You treated the CETA pretty well, and the X-Shot, long shot. You tend to have fun with those, right?
Yes.
Yeah? The other day you took the Omnia into a competition, and how did it go?
It went pretty good.
Okay. Well, you know, of those things that your old man decided, I think it's time for you to have your own Pro Blaster. What do you think about that?
I agree.
You agree? You'd be excited? Well, that is what we're actually reviewing today. This is actually one that I found off eBay for $39.99. It is the Gameface Prime. Now, it's not quite the Tryon. The Tryon is a much stronger blaster. This one does have a cap of just around 130, so it is perfect for HVZ play. But it is a pro-level blaster, and it is quite the bargain for $39.99, in my opinion. What say we open this up?
I say we should.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and actually show the people the box.
Heavy box.
Heavy box? All right.
Yes, very heavy box. We got the picture of the blaster right here.
Yeah.
And we got the
Instructions, it looks like.
yeah.
All right, well, it looks like that shifted around.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and open this up, shall we?
Yes.
All right. Okay, all right, so let's open up this box. We gotta flip the box. And then we have these two little tabs here. Okay. It's a pretty solid box.
Yeah, very solid box. At least it won't have a hole in it.
Okay, that folds open and that's frozen.
There. Oh.
Oh, this is fun.
Very fun. These papers.
We have safety warranty. Make sure you always read this.
Yes.
You have the instructions. It is a fold out. And then we have the blaster itself. Looks like we actually have the barrel, the blaster. There's some actual assembly required here. That's okay. You have your priming handle, and you have your Gameface magazine. Now, they do sell these separately. These are approximately, I want to say, $10.99, at least where I bought them from. And then, of course, you can buy an entire bucket of darts for around $10, or if you go through Gameface directly, they're about $15.99 for their prime darts. The prime darts, they are a little bit different than the standard fare in the sense that they have the rounded, almost like a standard bullet tip. Yeah. These are similar to my Gen 2 workers that I'm not a big fan of. So we're going to test these out in the chronograph, see how these perform, and then we're also going to load up some of the workers or some of the Dark Zone rubies and see how they work. So let's go ahead and actually get this box out of the way. It's nice that it's molded to everything. And go from there. You do have the matching red half dart version. Let's see here. Does it tell you which way to put this in? It doesn't really give a direction as to which way the darts go. So hopefully it's omnidirectional. It seems to be an omnidirectional magazine, so that's kind of cool. And then, of course, you need a screwdriver to attach this to the Picatinny rail. So because of the fact that it is a Picatinny rail, you can actually go ahead and use whichever attachment you want on here. So you could swap this out if you don't like the actual vertical grip. If you wanted to use something like the Try-On's grip, you can. Or if you had a custom grip yourself, you can attach it to this blaster. So let's go ahead and get out our trusty screwdriver. I respect what they're doing here, but out of all the ways, this is the least convenient one to do it. That's on there nice and tight, especially since you're going to be moving this to prime it. You want to make sure that you have a tight hold there to that rail so it doesn't get all wobbly. A couple more extra spins here just for good measure. Alright, so that is pretty secure. It's not good without this. This should just be able to slip right in. Righty tighty. Ta-da! Assemble blaster. So, of course, you do have the quick disassembly clips here that you just actually pull these out, and that means that the blaster itself is ready to come apart. Let's see if we can actually experiment with how that works. As such. So, all in all, a pretty simple blaster if you need to take apart and make any modifications to. That is one of the things that Gameface is about. It is about modifying the blasters, and the Prime is one that I have heard people can open up to achieve its full potential. My understanding is that you can get these with simple barrel upgrades and spring upgrades to hit well over the 200 feet per second. So, $39.99, not bad. That places it below the Nexus Pro in price, and stock, supposedly, this gets around the same performance as a Nexus Pro. So, you decide which one you want. I will tell you, though, that the $39.99 price is not always a guaranteed thing. These retailed right around $59.99, but, you know, they're no longer marketed on the Gameface page, so you have a lot of resellers and a lot of people who bought them in bulk that are just trying to offload the inventory that they have. So they do come in two different colors. You have red and then you have blue. The way the blaster works itself, of course, you would put your darts in here. You slap the magazine in. After you prime, you slap the magazine in. Close. You are now primed and ready to fire. You do have your safety back here. That sounds just like the Try-On. And then, of course, you have a mag release here as well that you just pull. It is an omnidirectional magazine release. And then you have the release there in the adapter. So, it is a pretty simple blaster. It does come with the extendable stock, so you just actually have to pull on this, and you adjust the stock itself, pull it up, and slide in and out. You do have an attachment for a sling here, and that is pretty much it that I can see. So you only have one point of attachment, but you do have a long Picatinny rail all along here. It does not come with any scopes or any iron sights. Those you will have to buy for yourself. So, yeah. Regarding accuracy, I will tell you that I have seen this one in play. It is pretty accurate if you use an iron sight and you are within 100 feet. It's pretty accurate. It's basically point and shoot. So we're actually going to go ahead and switch out the views now so you can see a better view of this blaster up against, well, people like G-Rex and myself. All right, so this is the actual size of the blaster when up against the body itself. G-Rex, this is actually now your blaster, so go ahead, hold it. What do you think? How do you feel about that?
Very big.
Okay. So it is a pretty large blaster. G-Rex, again, he's 10. It does say it's 14 and up. However, as I said, he has proven himself to be very responsible when it comes to using pro blasters. So this one's going to be his under my supervision. No, not inside the house.
No.
Okay, then. Do you aim at other people's faces
No.
with this? Do you shoot the dog with
No.
this? Do you shoot other kids with
No.
this? I think I've raised him well. One of the things I noticed here when we were actually opening it up is that this is actually a hollowed out priming handle. G-Rex at first was like, oh, it's so you can actually put an extra magazine in it. No, you can't. That is not a big enough hole. I don't know why they did this. I don't know if this was a manufacturing defect or not. If you actually own a Gameface Prime and can let me know if yours has a gap or if it has like a stopper in there, please let me know because, again, I just unboxed this now and this was new in box. So, yeah, that would be disappointing if they would ship something with a gaping hole here. We might buy an aftermarket piece, just to let you know.
We could actually use that for extra darts.
I don't know about that. Because there's nothing to stop the darts from falling out.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, but
Well,
yeah.
No, when we get the stopper.
Yeah, no. Because, again, you can actually keep everything in a magazine. We'll
True.
don't worry. You got to learn to walk before you learn to fly, kid. Anyways, I'll tell you that this handle itself, it actually feels pretty comfortable in adult hands. This stock itself, it is pretty comfortable. And from my understanding, if you needed to actually remove the entire stock itself, it is kind of a pain, but you just actually pull this all the way out, and you keep on pulling this up. That plastic is supposed to bend until this pops off completely, and you can take apart the blaster and take out the spring from here and put in a new spring. We're not going to do that right now. I think for him, this is the perfect pro-level blaster. Up next, we're actually going to go take it out to the range and do chronograph testing as well as accuracy testing, and then give our final thoughts regarding the blaster. Alright, so those chronograph numbers were pretty decent, especially with the Ruby darts. I will say that there was a little bit more consistency out of the Dart Zone darts, but the Prime darts did hold up their own. Now time for the distance test. Now time to switch out and do the dart zone darts. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick dart recovery. Stay tuned for the numbers. So that's actually quite impressive. We got 95 with the straight shot with the max ruby darts. We got 100 with the prime darts. And then for the angled shot, we got 150 with the ruby dart. But I'll be honest with you, I lost one of the speed darts. I don't know. It's a red and black dart on black asphalt. And yeah. It is a windy day, so that wind must have caught it and sent it somewhere sailing. I know that the wind was blowing towards my right, so for all I know, it went towards the building over there, and you know what? I'll lose a dart. I'm going to call it a mulligan. Given the distance between the max dart and the actual prime darts for the straight shot, I'm going to say that angled shot, when you actually add for the angle, we're probably hitting around the 160, 170 feet. That's just a guesstimate. Again, that's not really very scientific. But yeah, it's gone. I can't find it. G-Rex and I just spent the last 10 minutes looking for a single dart. So, sorry G-Rex, I owe you a new dart. Up next, we're actually going to do an accuracy test, which I feel that this is actually going to be very accurate given the groupings that we got when I did the dart recovery for the chronograph and the for both the ruby dart and the speed darts. And yeah, I think I actually might let G-Rex do the accuracy test inside the house because, after all, this is his blaster. Well, we're back indoors and we are here for the indoor accuracy test. Of course, we do have the basket that is set up back there. We are at about 30 feet away, and G-Rex is actually going to be the one who launches this blaster and tests the accuracy on it, just like so. It looks like this one has the same problem that the CETA had, where it's easy to double prime it if you're not careful. Now time for G-Rex to test the accuracy. So here are my final thoughts regarding the Gameface Prime. I'll be honest with you, this is a fun blaster. $39.99 is what I paid for this blaster. I honestly would expect to pay at least about maybe $20 more than that. That puts it above the Nexus Pro because you are getting above Nexus Pro performance. You saw the chronograph. There were times that we were hitting the high 150s, 160s using the ruby darts, and you know, there were a couple times where we went below the 130. However, there was one time, though, that we accidentally double primed, so we shot out 2 darts that got about 80 feet per second. That is not going to go into the average because of the fact that, again, that is human error. That's not the blaster's fault. I will tell you one of the things to look out for with this blaster is that when you do prime it back, you got to make sure that you actually pull all the way back to do that, because sometimes when you pull this back here, the dart rail will actually, the guide rail will actually jam up back there, and that's just a simple fix to just go pull back like that, and that should fix that. Now, that is a powerful fire. The blaster itself, it does have some of its faults. I will tell you that it does feel a little weak in the actual handles themselves, but again, this is something you could actually swap out. This priming handle, it's something that we will probably change out. Probably put something aftermarket, something a little bit more solid. I'm not too fond of this being hollowed out. And this back here, this red, I'm sure that this actually is just a shell that can easily be replaced. Who knows? Maybe somebody with a 3D printer will actually print me out something nice. I'll be more than happy to pay for it. Something with a design, you know. Maybe if I can get the channel logo on here, that would be really cool. So I am willing to pay for that. Now, I will tell you, though, that regarding the stock, taking it off, you know, it's weird because you're supposed to be able to just pull this off, and I'm sure that there is a way. I just don't know it yet, or haven't figured it out yet. But that, to me, is kind of a pain. I don't know what's keeping it in there. We'll have to figure that one out. I could probably look it up on YouTube, and I still probably wouldn't be able to do it because I've read the instructions, and it says that you're just supposed to be able to just pop that out like that, and it does not want to pop out no matter what I do. Whatever. This is actually going to be for G-Rexes, not for me to play with. I will tell you, though, that after firing off a couple rounds with it, I am kind of jealous. I might actually have to buy myself the blue one, because that way he can keep this one, and it'll be red versus blue all over again. So, but yeah. I will tell you that very seldomly do I ever say, hey, it's okay to pay the full price for the blaster. Normally, Gameface will sell this one for about $59.99. Is it worth the $59.99? That depends on your budget. I was actually able to get this off of an eBay seller that was only $39.99. Amazon sometimes drops the prices down to $39.99. However, they don't always have both colors at the same price for some reason. I don't know. It could just be an inventory thing. It could be that, hey, Gameface said the MSRP on this one is this much versus this much for the red one, or let's swap it out. I don't know. I will tell you, though, that the bigger brother, or I should say the younger brother, the Tryon, is a much, much friendlier blaster when it comes to modding. That's the one that is back there in the wall. I personally love the Tryon. I've taken that one into competition before, and it's fun. It's just a great blaster. Everyone who uses it, who's never even seen the Tryon in action before, they all say the same thing. Oh my gosh, I got to get this now. So if you have to choose between this one and the Tryon, and you actually can afford the Tryon, go for the Tryon. But if you're on a budget, this one will do just fine. It does what the Tryon does when it comes to super stock numbers, stock. So there you go. The other thing I will tell you about this blaster, though. Magazine. It loads either way. There's no actual thing here that tells you which way the darts are supposed to go. No guide, as you can see. It doesn't show any pictures. And you can load it as long as all the darts are facing the same way. Whichever way you want. It fits, it closes, and it does fire. So keep that in mind. There's that jamming issue that I was telling you about. So if you actually like the Gameface Prime, go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me any of the fun mods that you've done with yours, because outside of doing a barrel swap and maybe a spring upgrade, I don't know what exactly I would do with this one. I'm not sure. You know, it performs pretty well for and does what it needs to do. So I don't know if I'm going to chase 200 with this one, especially when there are other blasters out there that already do that stock, like the Mark 1.2. But yeah, I don't know. It's an intro pro blaster, and I'm okay with that. I do want to thank you all for watching Secondhand Blasters. Just want to remind you all, we are close to hitting my 200 subscriber mark, which means that we will be doing another blaster giveaway. So go ahead and actually share the links and get your friends to sign up. If they subscribe, who knows? You might actually win them a free blaster, or they might win a free blaster for you. You never know. You never know what I'm going to do, because I have way too many in my stock right now. I got to start getting rid of some of these blasters, please. Until next time, keep on blasting.